Sifa zote zende kwa Mumba, which means all praise is due the Creator. Greetings, I'm Baba Brother D, B. Amar Nubian, and here's another video from the project New Ashe, the New African Social Health Effort. When you don't wield power, there's not much of a difference between making demands and begging for something. Please, sir. When you don't wield power, unless you can bluff your way through, somebody that you are looking to make a decision on your behalf, you are basically at their mercy, because not wielding power means you have no or else. If you could bluff your way through, at least the person might think, oh, maybe I better do what they're saying for me to do because something might happen. But as often as we call ourselves making demands to the same people who already know you ain't got no or else, you just begging. And so in continuing on describing the problem with us making a principle out of a notion of being entitled to something, again, I'm pointing out, entitlement is just a tool. Many of us have been taught that when we have the right to something, that means that we ought to use it. Like if you've got the right to speak, you need to be heard. You need to use your voice and be heard. Not true. Just because you can speak doesn't mean that you should speak. Just because you can vote doesn't mean that you should vote. You should speak, you should vote, and you should do anything else when it serves our needs, when it serves our interests. We want to be heard. And maybe you feel like if we say be seen and not heard, maybe you think you're being treated like a child. But even as a full-grown adult, there's a time to be seen and not heard. There's also a time to be heard and not seen. There's a time to not be heard or seen, and a time to be heard and seen. And part of the problem is, do you know what time it is? Becoming more strategic in when we make our moves, and not just moving because you've got the right to do so. The only principle that I recognize is the best interest of African people. What is conducive to the survival and development of our people worldwide? That is the main foundation on making decisions. To the best of your knowledge, to the best of your ability, will this decision add to or take away from the survival and development of our people? Sometimes we want to be heard because we want the world to know what's going on in terms of maybe some incident or predicament or issue that we're in. Be clear, the world is not likely to come to your rescue. Plenty of instances on this planet over the past 100 years where people have made an effort to have everybody know, or as many people know, what's going on, and very often wind up disappointed because a whole bunch of people will realize or be aware that something is going on, and unless it fits their agenda, they're not coming to your rescue. And if that's what you're looking for to be rescued, well then, clearly, you're begging. And there's a time to beg. Yeah, there's a time to beg. I ain't too proud to beg. You begging when you get to the store and the door is closed and it's 8 o'clock and you talking about, no, it's only a minute to 8. Let me in, right? Because you're dependent on the person on the other side of the door to say, you just need one thing, go ahead, all right? So, yeah, like anything else, it's a tool. When you need to use it, use it. Don't automatically act as if I'm only going to push what I'm entitled to. Push whatever we need to push in order to do what we have to do. So it ain't about just automatically letting your voice be heard. Matter of fact, I think a whole lot of us need to learn something different, like lay in the cut and shut the hell up. That's what we need to learn. There's a time, and we need to know what time it is. When it ain't time to be heard, we need to be silent. So on this question of rights, entitlements, lately there's a lot of fuss around reparations. Once again, I'm part of organizations, I have been part of organizations in which people are about reparations. Many of our important leaders, many of the important leaders in the sector of this pro-black movement that I'm in, I'm a black nationalist, many black nationalists believe in reparations. Make no mistake about it. Like every other protest demand that we have, powers that be do not grant those demands unless they see where it serves their agenda to do so. And we walking around here thinking we just ought to need to have reparations because that's just a fair thing to do, or that's the right thing to do, or they owe us. I want you to be clear. I ain't saying that anybody owe me anything. If we can show how we can use a movement for reparations to further our cause of gaining control over our own circumstances, well then I will be for it. Not in principle, but tactically. If in a strategy you can show how we can build toward controlling everything that is subject to human control that affects the lives of African people, if you can use reparations to do that, then by all means, okay, we'll use that. But that's not how people argue this case. Individuals are operating most often off of some notion of some abstract principle of being owed something. This will be fair, this will be equal. Equality don't exist. So get that out your head. Ain't nothing equal. We start talking about equality, we're probably on some BS, all right? because equality is a mathematical statement that one quantity is directly substitutable for another quantity and yield the same results. Ain't nothing equal. Equal is an idea. As a matter of fact, when we come to talking about this society and the people who dominate this particular society, I'm clear. They ain't nobody for me to be equal to begin with. Need to understand that. Our best interest. What is conducive to the survival and development of African people worldwide? But if you don't agree with any of the things that I've said, that's quite okay. Because it's more important for us to be able to establish the kind of relationship where we can disagree, and I ain't talking that agree to disagree stuff. Okay, you may hear me say that a lot. I don't represent the view, or everybody's entitled to their own opinion and we can agree to disagree, because all of those are just basically ways of saying, you think what you want to think, let me think what I want to think, and we don't need to work to try to achieve a greater level of agreement. I'm interested in us getting a greater level of agreement. So we disagree, that's fine. Let's talk some more. Let's get deeper. Let's try to find out at what point don't we agree. But I'm gonna come to that topic at another time. I am interested in propagating the idea along with other people who are putting forward the idea that whatever set of ideas, beliefs you have, practices that you have, lifestyle that you have, we need to be tight with some other. And if you looking at this video, if this video has caught your attention, I want you to consider out here, who are you close to? Who has your back? Whose back do you have? Who do you sit down and have deeper discussions with? Who do you pool resources with? Who do you allow to get on your case to do the things that you need to do? Who do you learn with? Who do you study with? And if you don't have a set of people that you're tight with and can do a variety of different things with, I'm begging, because I ain't too proud to beg. Connect up. I want to thank you for listening. Starting to lose my voice, but that's all right. I'm sure it'll come back. On behalf of those of us that are guided by the teaching of the systematic acquisition and application of knowledge skills for the best interest of African people, I want to thank you for your attention.